motorcycles are more than just two wheels with an engine. It's a piece of art, it's a way of life, and it's also a means of commuting from point A to point B. And some motorcycles have a richer legacy than others, some have a proper heritage to live by. And that's why with me, I have this motorcycle, the Indian Scout. Indian is probably a brand that defines this segment, a segment where we don't get all of the features, but we get a brilliant ride. And now in this video, I'm going to take you guys around this motorcycle to show what it has to offer. Though this may not be a new motorcycle in the market, it's been around for a while, but it's still a very special piece of machinery. Welcome to Drive Spark, I'm Vedant Johari, and let's jump into this video. Before I actually start off with the whole walk around of this motorcycle, what's the first word that comes to your mind when I say Indian? Well, for me, it's tradition, it's culture, and it's a proper retro feel. Well, on this motorcycle, you have a lot of elements that really bring out that retro charm, right from your chrome elements to the circular lights, and almost everything on this stands out in that whole retro aspect. Even at the front, as you can see, we get a circular headlamp with circular indicators, we get telescopic suspensions, much fatter tires than what we regularly see, and these are 18-inch wheels. Now we get diamond cut alloys, again this black and chrome, again bringing out that whole traditional element, that whole classic element. And moving on from that, we get these upswept U handlebars, ape handlebars also that you may like to call it, and these again just bring out that old school charm of this motorcycle. Moving on from that, we see this teardrop tank with the Indian Scout in again a chrome element in a chrome color. We get a chrome fuel cap, we get a chrome exhaust, a chrome engine. We just get chrome all over this motorcycle. Now this does have front set foot pegs, this does have a lower seat height because this is a cruiser motorcycle. So in terms of the seat, as you can see, we get a split style seat, a single piece seat, but with this sort of split right here. And this raised position we get is just for extra support for our lower back. Apart from that, we get twin shock absorbers at the rear, a split style exhaust as I mentioned, we get 16-inch wheels at the rear, again diamond cut alloys. And in terms of design, as you see, everything I'm mentioning just brings out that whole class, it brings out that whole retroness of this bike. Now moving on to the rear aspect, well, we get this ovalish tail lamp with again circular indicators at the rear with chrome garnishes surrounding them. Again, chrome, we see it at the rear, on the sides, in the front, on top of the motorcycle. From every angle you look, you will see chrome on this. So now moving on from the design, moving on from all the chrome bits, from what this has to offer, let's see how it is to sit on. So for example, I am 6'1", and as you can see, I'm extremely comfortable. I don't need to stretch my legs. It's almost bent at 90 degrees and I'm very comfortable. So even for a shorter rider, maybe go down to even 5'3" or 5'4", they still will feel comfortable on this. This comes at a seat height of 649 mm, making it extremely accessible to people of all heights, of all sizes. And this just means that the Indian Scout is a motorcycle for almost everyone. Moving on from the seat height, well, the riding positioning on this is extremely comfortable. The raised handlebars are honestly very easy to rest your hands on, be it a short ride, be it a long ride, a city commute, anything it is, you aren't going to feel uncomfortable on this. However, your lower back might take a little too much stress as your feet and your wrists have absolutely no pressure on it, so all your pressure is falling on your lower back. But then again, you do have a soft seat, you do have a cushion seat, so that does cancel out the discomfort that you may feel. Well, now moving on from everything else that you can see, let's talk about something you can't see. What goes on inside this engine? Well, this is an 1133cc engine or 1133cc. It's a liquid cooled engine that pushes out around 97 Newton meters of torque. Now 97 Newton meters of torque to 1133cc. You guys might be thinking that's really not a lot of power, that's not a lot of grunt. Well, this motorcycle isn't designed to go at crazy speeds. It's not designed to pop wheelies. It's not designed to ride like a psycho. This motorcycle is designed to chill, designed to cruise, and designed to just enjoy your ride. Now, that is the beauty of cruisers. Cruisers aren't motorcycles where you're gunning it on the highway, where you're constantly on full throttle on the highway. You do want to take a slower life, you do want to have fun, you want to take in your surroundings, and you just want to be comfortable while doing so. And that's what the Scout has to offer. 97 Newton meters of torque is still fairly enough to feel the grunt of the engine, is still enough to actually experience what this engine is about. It's not like any other V-twin in the market. It has its own character, and that's what brings Indian out. Bringing out the character through how the engine sounds, through how it feels. And talking about how the engine sounds, let's quickly listen to the exhaust note of this. So before I start up this motorcycle, let me quickly tell you one thing. This isn't a regular start button where you have to hold it until the motorcycle starts up. Click it once, and that's about it. Your motorcycle starts up. Well, this is the exhaust note of the Scout. What do you think? Let us know in the comment section below. Well, for me, it's extremely grunty, it's thumpy, it has a personality. It's not soft, it's not smooth. It has that roughness, it has that ruggedness. And as I mentioned probably 30-40 seconds ago, that's what brings out the character of this motorcycle. So now, let me talk to you guys about the riding impressions of this motorcycle, how it feels to ride, how it performs. Well, so we've had this motorcycle for a while now, and we've tested it on the highways, we've tested it on the cities, we've taken on a few muddy roads, and it hasn't disappointed anywhere. Now, you guys might be thinking ground clearance is really short and it stands at 146 mm. Now, in numbers, that might seem really little. However, when you're riding and you actually test it in real world conditions, you will find yourself not scraping on every speed breaker, not scraping on every pothole, because this bike can take it. Now, at the front, you get around 120 mm of travel. At the rear, you get 75 mm of travel. Now, the suspension does its work to avoid the motorcycle from bottoming out. And that is a huge plus point on this. Despite the shorter ground clearance, we still aren't scraping anywhere. Now, in terms of how it is to ride, well, as you see, the tires are much fatter than a regular tire. It is a high profile tire that allows it to absorb the bumps, it allows it to absorb undulations, and that gives us a better riding feel. It makes us more comfortable, it gives us a smoother and a much more safer ride. On top of that, these are thicker tires, so even if you want to have that little bit of fun and lean the motorcycle, you can. But again, if you lean too much, you will find yourself either scraping your foot pegs, scraping your exhaust, or scraping some part of this motorcycle for sure. It does have a longer wheelbase, it does have a shorter ground clearance, so it is still a little restricted when you talk about things like that. Apart from that, throttle response is brilliant. It's on the touch, you will get your response, and it's extremely torquey. As I said, 97 Newton meters of torque, but it's calibrated in such a way where you really feel it when you're gunning it on the throttle. So now let's talk about something that could be improved on the Indian, your front brakes. Now, when you are doing higher speeds, if you really need to slow the motorcycle down on time with your front brakes, it's not going to slow down as fast as you want it to. It will come to a stop, it will slow you down, but not as quick as you expect. Now, coming to the rear brakes, your rear brakes have a stronger bite than the front brakes. However, the moment ABS kicks in, that's when you're losing out on your braking performance. You aren't slowing down as quick as you want to. But then again, when you're in the city, when you're riding normally on the highways, your front brakes, your rear brakes, they're more than adequate. It will slow you down, it will bring you to a stop, and it will keep you safe. The only place where it won't, or the only place where it might be questionable, is when we are on higher speeds and we need to emergency brake. But then again, how often are we in that situation? No features with very little extra accessories. But that's what I mentioned in the beginning of the video. That's what Indian is about. They're giving you what you need, not what you want. You need a speedometer, you need your basic readings, you need a throttle, you need brakes, and you want to have a good ride, and that's what you get with this. You don't have anything extra, you don't get any fancy instrument cluster, no digital, no Bluetooth connectivity. You don't get any of that jazz. It's plain and simple. It's to the point. You get what you see on this motorcycle. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching Drive Spark. I'm Vedant Johari, signing out.